Drakensberg Mountains of South Africa, ancient paintings cover cave walls that have witnessed countless sunrises. For thousands of years, these images were dismissed as simple hunting scenes, spiritual visions, or merely decorative art created by primitive people. But recent discoveries have revealed something truly extraordinary hidden within these weathered images. These paintings are not random art. They are star maps. They are celestial calendars. They are encoded astronomical knowledge passed down through generations of Africa's oldest people. The San people, also known as Bushmen, are Africa's oldest continuous inhabitants. Genetic evidence suggests they have lived in southern Africa for over 100,000 years, making them among the most ancient human populations on our planet. Their rock art tradition spans at least 27,000 years. 27,000 years. That makes it one of the world's oldest continuous artistic traditions. And hidden within these ancient paintings is sophisticated knowledge of the cosmos that Western science is only now beginning to understand and appreciate. For decades, researchers studied San rock art, focusing primarily on its artistic and spiritual aspects. But in recent years, a profound new understanding has emerged. Many of these paintings contain astronomical information, carefully encoded in symbols and patterns. The Southern Cross, known as crux, appears frequently in sand paintings throughout the region. This constellation, visible only from the southern hemisphere, was crucial for navigation and seasonal timing. The San did not just recognize this constellation. They documented its position relative to other stars, its seasonal movements, and its significance for timing important activities. The Pleiades, known across cultures as the Seven Sisters, also feature prominently in San rock art. This brilliant star cluster appears in many paintings, often depicted alongside other astronomical symbols that provide context for its meaning. The San used the Pleiades to mark seasonal changes with precision. When these stars appeared in the evening sky at certain positions, it signaled the beginning of specific seasons. This knowledge was not merely observed and forgotten. It was carefully encoded in art, preserved on rock walls, and passed down through countless generations of San people. Orion's belt, those three bright stars arranged in a distinctive line, appears in many San paintings across southern Africa. The San used these stars for orientation during their travels, but they also recognized the deeper seasonal significance of Orion's position. When these stars appeared at certain angles in the night sky, it indicated different times of year. This information was essential for agricultural planning and predicting animal migration patterns. The San were not casual observers of the night sky. They were systematic documenters, recording their observations for future generations to study and use. Researchers have identified recurring symbols throughout San rock art that appear to represent specific astronomical phenomena. Concentric circles likely represent stars, planets, or significant cosmic events like comets. Lines connecting symbols could indicate constellation, patterns, and their relationships. Crescent shapes almost certainly represent the various phases of the moon, and grid patterns, which appear with remarkable consistency across different sites and time periods, may represent star maps or calendars. The consistency of these symbols across vast distances and thousands of years suggests they encoded standardized knowledge rather than random artistic decoration. Modern technology now aids in the interpretation of these ancient star maps. Computer-aided pattern recognition helps identify recurring motifs that might escape the human eye. Statistical analysis reveals non-random distributions of symbols that point to intentional placement. Cross-referencing with San oral traditions, still preserved in some communities today, provides essential cultural context for symbolic meanings. One major breakthrough came when researchers realized that some paintings showed the same star patterns from different perspectives. It was as if the San were documenting the same celestial events from different locations or different times of year. This discovery suggested something remarkable. The San were engaged in systematic observation and careful recording of celestial phenomena, not random artistic expression. They were scientists, documenting the movements of the heavens across time and space. Recent archaeological work has validated many of these interpretations. Radiocarbon dating confirms the great age of paintings containing astronomical symbols. Some date back over 20,000 years. Analysis of pigment composition reveals the sophisticated care taken in creating these paintings. Most importantly, comparison with known astronomical events has revealed correlations that strongly suggest the San were documenting actual celestial phenomena. Some paintings appear to depict a supernova that occurred around 1054 CE, an explosion so bright it was visible from Earth for many months, even during daylight hours. The San recorded this extraordinary event, showing their commitment to systematic observation of the night sky. They painted what they saw because it mattered, because it was knowledge worth preserving. Other paintings correlate with known planetary movements and conjunctions, suggesting long-term tracking of celestial bodies across years and even decades. The San were not merely stargazers, they were astronomers, building a body of knowledge that spanned generations and millennia. This knowledge rivals, and in some ways predates, the astronomical achievements of ancient Egypt, Greece, and Mesopotamia. Today, we are going to decode these ancient star maps together. We will explore how the San people mapped the stars with remarkable precision, tracked celestial events across generations, and encoded their cosmic understanding in stone for their descendants. This is a journey that reveals not just artistic achievement, but scientific knowledge, spiritual cosmology, and a world view that connected earth, sky, and spirit in profound ways. Who are the San? They are the indigenous people of southern Africa, known by various names throughout history: Bushmen, Basarwa, Kung, but they call themselves simply the people. Their genetic lineage traces back over 100,000 years, connecting them to the very origins of humanity itself. The San Rock art tradition is staggering in its scope and ambition. Over 50,000 documented sites exist across southern Africa. 50,000 sites, each one a window into ancient knowledge, each one a testament to human creativity and our eternal desire to understand our place beneath the stars. The San did not merely observe the stars for wonder alone. They used them to create sophisticated calendars that guided every aspect of their daily lives. This cosmic calendar integrated lunar cycles, seasonal changes, and celestial events into a unified, practical timekeeping system of remarkable precision. The San calendar marked seasons primarily through celestial observation. Rainy season indicators included depictions of rain animals, mythical creatures associated with water, and storms in San cosmology. These rain animals appeared in paintings alongside specific star positions, creating a visual calendar that showed communities when to expect the life-giving rains. The stars told them everything they needed to know. Migration patterns of animals were intimately tied to celestial events in San knowledge systems. The San tracked eland migrations with particular care, as these magnificent antelope were their primary food source and held deep spiritual significance. When certain constellations appeared at specific positions in the night sky, the eland would move to predictable areas. The San knew this. They encoded this precious knowledge in their art, allowing future generations to predict animal movements with confidence. Dry season markers were equally sophisticated. Water scarcity symbols appeared alongside different star patterns, warning communities when water sources would become scarce and when they should move to find new sources. The San calendar was fundamentally lunar-based, following the rhythm of the moon across its eternal cycle. Paintings throughout southern Africa show crescent moons in various phases: new moon, waxing crescent, full moon shining bright, waning moon returning to darkness. Each phase held significance for different activities within San life. New moons marked the beginning of months, times for planning and preparation. Full moons were times for ceremonies, gatherings, and peak activities. The waning moons signaled completion and rest. Evidence from multiple sites suggests the San tracked 29 to 30-day lunar cycles with remarkable accuracy, integrating them with solar observations to maintain seasonal precision. The cosmic calendar guided agricultural activities with precision that ensured survival. Star positions indicated when to plant certain crops for optimal growth, when to harvest before the rains came, when to prepare fields for the next season. This was not guesswork or superstition. It was systematic observation accumulated over thousands of generations, carefully encoded in art for transmission to future generations who would depend on this knowledge. The integration of celestial knowledge with practical agriculture was sophisticated beyond what early European observers understood. Lunar phases guided some activities, solar seasons guided others, and specific star positions marked the most critical times for action. What makes San astronomical knowledge truly remarkable is its integration across multiple timescales. The San timekeeping system wove together daily cycles marked by sun and moon positions, monthly cycles following lunar phases through their complete journey, and yearly seasonal cycles tracked through the positions of stars and constellations. Longer cycles may have tracked multi-year patterns, though evidence for this remains under study. The San did not separate astronomical observation from practical daily life. They were one unified system. The stars were not distant objects for abstract philosophical study. They were immediate practical guides for daily living, encoded in art to ensure the knowledge would never be lost. Major concentrations of San rock art exist in three extraordinary regions. The Drakensberg Mountains of South Africa contain over 35,000 individual images, making it the highest concentration of San art anywhere in the world. The Matobo Hills of Zimbabwe hold thousands more sacred sites among their ancient granite formations. And the Brandberg region of Namibia preserves paintings in the stark beauty of desert mountains. The art spans an incredible timeline. The oldest known San paintings that date back over 27,000 years, discovered in the Apollo 11 cave in Namibia. But this tradition continued right into the 19th century. For the San, astronomy was never separate from spirituality. The two were woven together into a comprehensive worldview that connected earth, sky, and spirit into one living whole. The San recognized three interconnected realms in their cosmology: the upper world of sky, stars, and powerful spirits; the middle world of earth, living beings, and everyday experience; and the lower world beneath, associated with water, ancestors, and spirit forces. These realms were not separate domains with firm boundaries. They were interconnected, with celestial events above directly affecting earthly life below, and spiritual experience throughout all realms simultaneously. Stars were not merely lights in the distant sky for the San. They were ancestors. They were guides. They were portals connecting the living world to the realm of spirits. The moon was not simply a celestial body following predictable orbital mechanics. It was a spiritual guide, and its phases marked spiritual significance as much as practical time. The sun was not just a source of light and warmth. It was a life giver, and its movements marked spiritual cycles as surely as they marked the seasons. Every celestial body held meaning that went far beyond mere physical observation. Beni San paintings depict shamanic experiences, and researchers now recognize that these often involve cosmic travel to the realm of stars. During trance states induced through rhythmic dancing and focused concentration, San shamans journeyed to the stars themselves. They communicated with star spirits. They brought cosmic knowledge back to their communities to share. The paintings show this extraordinary journey in vivid detail. Shamans depicted traveling upward to stars, their bodies elongated and transformed, communicating with celestial beings who shared their wisdom, returning with knowledge that benefited their entire community. This was not metaphor for the San. This was real experience. The San believed that important knowledge came through trance journeys to the stars. Astronomical observations were not purely physical acts of measuring and recording. They were spiritual experiences of profound significance. The San did not separate science from spirituality, as modern Western thinking often does. Astronomical knowledge was spiritual knowledge. Understanding the stars was understanding the cosmos. Understanding the cosmos was understanding the spirit world. And understanding the spirit world was understanding life itself in all its dimensions. This integration is what makes San rock art so profound. It is simultaneously scientific documentation and sacred spiritual practice united. The artistic techniques used by San painters were remarkably sophisticated. They used natural pigments gathered from the earth itself: ochre for reds, yellows, and browns, charcoal for deep blacks, white clay or bird droppings for brilliant whites. They mixed these pigments with binding agents like blood, egg, or plant sap to create paints that would endure for millennia. The paintings have survived thousands of years because San artists chose their locations carefully. Rock shelters protected from rain and wind became their galleries. Each painting was created with intention, with purpose, with knowledge, meant to last forever. Modern archaeology and advanced technology are revealing the true sophistication of San astronomical knowledge in ways that surprise even experienced researchers. Radiocarbon dating has confirmed the remarkable age of paintings containing astronomical symbols. Some date back over 20,000 years, demonstrating that sophisticated astronomical knowledge existed in Africa long before it was previously recognized by Western scholarship. Pattern recognition studies using computer analysis have revealed non-random distributions of symbols across vast regions. Statistical analysis shows clear correlations between symbol placement and known astronomical events. This scientific validation confirms what San communities have long maintained. Their ancestors were systematically recording astronomical knowledge of genuine scientific value that Western science is only now learning to appreciate. Modern San communities are working actively to preserve their extraordinary heritage for future generations. Community-led documentation projects record oral traditions that complement and illuminate the rock art. Educational programs teach young San people about their astronomical heritage, ensuring this knowledge continues. Some San elders still remember traditions directly related to the rock art and its meanings. Their knowledge provides crucial context for interpreting symbols, sometimes validating scholarly interpretations and sometimes correcting assumptions that researchers have made. This living knowledge, passed down through generations of oral tradition, is invaluable for understanding the art's full meaning. The knowledge encoded in these ancient paintings is not dead history. It lives on in San communities today. The recognition of San astronomical knowledge is beginning to influence modern astronomy and global education about the history of science. Ethnoastronomy, the study of how different cultures understand and use astronomical knowledge, is gaining recognition as a legitimate field. San knowledge is being integrated into educational materials worldwide, demonstrating that sophisticated astronomy existed outside the traditional centers of Greece, Egypt, and Mesopotamia. This has profound implications. It challenges narratives that place scientific achievement only in certain privileged regions, but the rock art also faces serious threats. Weathering erodes paintings slowly, but relentlessly. Vandalism destroys irreplaceable images. Development pressures threaten sites. Climate change may accelerate deterioration. Preservation requires urgent action. 3 major sites have received UNESCO World Heritage recognition, acknowledging their extraordinary importance to human heritage. Ukalamba Drakensberg Park in South Africa, the Matobo Hills in Zimbabwe, and Brandberg Mountain in Namibia. These sites represent not just artistic achievement, but windows into ancient knowledge systems that we are still working to fully understand. The art was never created in isolation. It was part of a complex cultural system that included shamanic practices, spiritual beliefs, and practical knowledge about the natural world. Understanding the astronomical aspects requires understanding this broader context. The art was documentation, instruction, and spiritual practice combined. The San rock art reveals something profound about human capacity for understanding our universe. Ancient people possessed sophisticated astronomical knowledge. They encoded it in art. They used it to guide their lives. The stars the San observed are the same stars we see tonight. The knowledge they encoded remains accessible, relevant, and profound. We simply need to learn to read it.